Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today it has been about half a year since I received my custom pair of Nick's Pullman engineer boots. And since it's been about half a year, I thought we would do a little check-in. Talk about how I've been enjoying the boots, how often I've been wearing them, have they broken in properly, have they developed that patina that everyone likes to talk about, are they comfortable, do I enjoy wearing them, have they gotten any wear on the soles, in the heels, how are they holding up after using them pretty often in the last 6 months. So let's get into it. All right, 6 months later. So if you guys haven't been following along with this whole saga with these Nick's boots, you should definitely check out the 2 other videos that I've posted. I did one video in which I just talked about the entire process of ordering a custom pair of these boots from Nick's in Spokane, Washington. I live in Western Washington, Nick's is in Spokane, so it was cool to be able to order a pair of boots from a somewhat local manufacturer, and a manufacturer that still makes boots in a very traditional and very handmade way. So I did one video where I was ordering these boots, going through all the custom options that I chose. I did another video where I had received the boots and I was trying them on for the first time. This is the 6-month update, and then I'm going to do a final video after a year for my full review, because I felt like with boots like this that are so traditional, so handmade, and supposedly so resilient and resistant to wear, I should wait an entire year until I did a final review. So this is the 6-month check-in, and as you can see, these boots are holding up really, really well. It's kind of crazy. I got the 1964 leather, which is a leather that is supposedly a little bit easier to break in than their traditional 7 to 8 ounce Seidel work leather. So this is the 1964 leather in black. And you can see that, yes, there are some creases now. Yes, there is a bit of patina that is developed on these boots, but they still look almost brand new, other than just being slightly worn in. If you look at the soles here, these are the Vibram V-Bar soles. So not as bulky and beefy as you might get with the Vibram 100 lugs, but they are very hard wearing. You can see that some of the stitching has worn through there. That's normal, that's what's going to happen eventually. The soles are also glued and nailed on, so you don't have to worry about that. But a lot of the stitching is still holding up really well. The soles themselves have very little wear whatsoever. The heel in the back does have some wear. I tend to wear my heels right on the edge of the heel. It's just kind of the way I walk. I guess I'm kind of a heel walker, but not too bad. I'd say that maybe in another 6 months, maybe even in a year, I might actually have to replace this part of the Vibram heel. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about the leather heel stack or anything like that. So I'm super happy with how these soles have been holding up. I was kind of worried, I didn't know how resilient they would be, but you know, I'm not hiking with these. I'm mostly just walking in like an urban environment, on concrete, things like that. A little bit of dust here. I haven't done anything to the edges at all, and they still look really nice. This was just the natural edge. Some of the things I chose, if you watch that video where I ordered the custom pair, you'll see all these things anyway, but I did 2 buckles, both hardware buckles. I ordered these in a full size down from my normal Brannock size. I'm normally a 10.5. I ordered these in a 9.5D because they said with the pull-on boots, you want to do a full size smaller than your Brannock size, and that has worked out really well for me. I did the classic 55 arch, so a higher arch. Well, it's their standard arch, but it's a higher arch than you might find on a lot of similar engineer boots. I did the 1964 black leather, as I mentioned. I did the pull loop in the back. This is really useful to actually help get these boots on, because they were very difficult to get on and off when I first got them. I did the soft toe structure, so there's no Celastic, No steel toe, no composite toe in here, and you can see that the toe is creasing, but I do like that kind of sleek profile that the toe has. I did the classic 5/8 inch leather heel stack with the logger heel profile, so you can see that cool swoop to the back of the heel there. It's not like a straight slant, there's a little bit of a curve to it, which I really like, and I really think complements the look of these boots. As I mentioned, the sole was the Vibram V-bar, and then the edge color is natural. If we just take a close look at these boots, yes, there are creases. Yes, you're getting a little bit of dimpling with the leather now as it wears in and just becomes softer. This leather has softened up quite a bit, but it's still very rigid in the actual shaft of the leg here. We get a nice bit of crease now in the toe, in the vamp. When I first got these, as I mentioned, they were very difficult to put on, but they fit really well, and there was minimum heel slip. But then getting them off was a struggle. That was very difficult. It's to the point now where I can slip these on and off pretty easily. If I wear really bulky socks, they are still a little bit difficult, but I have to say, I think the sizing was perfect. I was communicating with someone at Nick's about the sizing. Typically, they say with their normal boots to order a half size smaller than your normal size, your Brannick measurement size. But with the pull-ons, they recommended a full size. I was a little leery of that, but I went ahead and did it, and that was exactly right for me. So typically a 10.5D in Brannick size, but I got the 9.5D with these Nick's Pullman engineer boots. So I am extremely happy with these. They have become one of my most comfortable pair of boots. I get compliments on them all the time. People love the look of these. I love the look of these. I think they're so classic. I think they are just so well done, so well made. They still smell amazing. They still look amazing. I haven't had anything go wrong with these. There has been no undue wear. Inside, everything still looks pretty good. I'm not gonna be able to show you that on camera because it's going to be too dark within the shaft of this boot. Nothing is peeling up yet. Typically when they'll have a leather piece that they put down on the sole. Usually that starts to peel up a little bit. And I don't think, maybe slightly on one of the corners it's starting to peel, because that's when you're pulling your foot out of that boot. You're gonna start rubbing against that, and eventually that could start to peel. Usually you would just tack that down with some rubber cement again. But yeah, maybe slightly on one of the corners that's coming up. You don't feel it when you're walking around in these. These are pretty comfortable. The only thing that I would ever notice is sometimes if my socks pull down a bit, you can see in here there is a tag, and then there's kind of this edge of leather here. Sometimes that can kind of rub against your bare leg, but it's not that big of a deal. And if you have longer socks, it doesn't really matter. I can't say enough good things about these boots. I think they have worn fantastically well. They're really starting to look used and broken in, but still, after 6 months of wearing them almost every day, they still look really new, and they're still holding up amazingly well. So I can imagine decades of use for these boots. Like I mentioned, just normal maintenance. I may have to replace this heel, this outsole heel, in a little while. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about the leather stack. But yeah, I think I might have another year of use on these heels before I have to replace them. I oil them. I've only oiled them once since I've gotten them. I don't tend to over oil my boots, so maybe every 3 months or so, depending on whether or not they seem dry. These have not seemed super dry, but also these are that 1964 leather. And that leather does have a little bit more oil impregnated into the leather, so maybe if you had the normal airplanes, maybe if you had the normal 8-ounce Seidel work leather, you might need to oil them a little more often. But look at this. Is this a beautiful boot, or is this a beautiful boot? I am super happy with these Nick's Pullmans. Again, watch those other 2 videos if you haven't yet. I'm going to slide these on now. Here we go. So you can see, thunks in pretty easily. But yeah, if you haven't watched those videos, you should definitely check those out, because it goes through the entire process of me ordering these boots, trying them on for the very first time, and that'll give you a lot of information if you want to order a pair yourself. There we go. They fit great, they feel great, they're super comfortable. I can walk around all day in these things. and my feet don't get tired. I just think these are one of the most fantastic pair of boots I have ever had. So that is the 6-month check-in for my custom NYX Pullman's beautiful engineer boots. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.